How's it all going, everyone? Hope everyone's out there catching, and I have been doing something a little bit different. I spent 2 weeks again in isolation because obviously I was on holiday, so I've tried to keep myself busy, and this behind me is what I've been doing. I've been trying to introduce a better backdrop to my videos, and hopefully you guys are liking it so far. I've got a lot of other things that I want to do to it. You know, I've got all this empty space up around this area, and which will get filled eventually, but it's good enough at the moment to start filming my videos. And I've had big tanks in the past, big fish tanks, had loads of sort of cichlids and things like that in them years ago. It was something like a 6-foot tank, and it was such a pain in the arse to keep. And I've always been interested in having fish because I sit there watching them more than I do the TV. I've seen these little ones which I thought looked really cool for keeping little things like tetras and mollies, stuff like that, and got myself a little one in the corner there which I think looks quite cool. But yeah, like I said, I've got a lot of other stuff planned to go up on the walls, but we will get round to that very shortly in the next videos. Before we talk about the main prize, that big colourful carp, then please hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, because it really helps out my video, helps out my channel. So literally it only takes 2 seconds. That'd be much appreciated. So a guy I know, he came up to me a couple of years ago and he told me about this particular venue that's on a club ticket which I already had. And he said to me that there's a big colourful fish, and he's seen it whilst he's been walking around with his dogs. And this guy, you know, I'm not quite sure if he knows the size of fish, but he said that it was big, and that was good enough for me to go down there and check it out. If you heard someone say that to you, that there is this massive fish floating around in this old club lake, you're expecting on a spring or a summer's day to come into contact with that fish straight away. You know, he's telling me that this fish is like this big, and I'm expecting to see it, you know, on my first trip. And that just wasn't the case, and it was really weird because the lake, it was overgrown, but it didn't have that many hiding places, that many snags where this fish could sit up and not be seen. So I found it quite strange that I never actually came into contact with the fish until it must have been on my 5th trip around. And it wasn't through lack of trying, you know. Every time I was in the area I'd stop there just to make sure that the fish, the myth that he was telling me was there, actually existed. And it wasn't until my 5th trip, like I said, that I was walking around and it was a really hot spring day. The bluebells were up. I think it was 2018 that I was there, and I'm hoping the fish is still swimming around nice and safe now. But my first glimpse of the fish, I just saw it was big, you know, for a koi. And I know we're all not very fond of koi, but you can't help but admire how beautiful and how different they are. You know, they really do stand out from the crowd, don't they? And you know what, I see one and I'm always attracted to try and catch it. I'm not quite sure what it is, it's just all the markings, isn't it? All the different colours, and I just think, you know what, I want to see this fish in the flesh. And that is exactly what I've done.
Should we find him? Should we show him? Should we?
Well, as I'm officially allowed back out of the house now, I decided to take the old dog for a walk and show you, well, go for a little stroll and recap on where I actually caught this big colourful fish. So it's just nice to be back out, breathing in a bit of fresh air. And I tell you what, it's definitely changed around here now. Not many leaves on the trees. Autumn has seriously kicked in now, hasn't it? So looking forward to getting back out on the bank soon anyway. He didn't slip up as easy either as you'd think he did. Yes, I did catch him on my first time when I saw it, but I managed to corner him in this little bay tucked away on one half of the lake. He's alone. He's the only fish in this pond. That he's the only living creature that I've seen in there. You know, I could be wrong. There could be other fish, but I'm pretty sure he is the only resident in there. And I've tucked him up in this corner, and I could see him smashing up the sill. And I've had this one chance. You know, I've got my sawn off, and I had a loaf of bread in the back of the car. You know, that's what I do. And I've dropped this slow sinking bit right in front of his nose, and he sucked it in. And I'm not quite sure what happened. I think fault of my own. I've struck, and it's just come out. But the problem was I didn't actually connect with him whatsoever, obviously, because it's come out of his mouth. But he knew something was wrong with that, and he bow waved off. And I thought I'd blown it. I was absolutely gutted. Until an hour later, he returned back to the corner, but he was still very cagey and still very well aware that I was there, even though I wasn't making myself visible to him. But I watched him for quite some time, and there was this one point where he came up underneath this tree, which was right in front of me, and he started sucking the moss and the algae off of these overhanging branches. And I thought, this is my time, this is it. So I've literally flicked a little bit of crust right onto the branch, just literally so it's hanging over the top of it. And I saw him, he was just getting closer and closer, and bang! All hell erupted. This fish went absolutely ballistic. You know, the line came straight out of the branch, literally the branch was right in front of me. It was just to make sure there was no line laying on the water. Came out, and it run me around all over the shop. But those rods, you know, my 6 foot sawn offs are just something else to me. They're so special. I've caught so many big fish on them right under my feet, right under the rod tip, and that's all I need really, especially spring, summertime. But it was powerful enough to get that fish in. So check it out, because I'm telling you, this is an unusual carp, and it must have been around 25 to 30 pound. Have a look. The myth is true. This fish is scrapping, mate. There's always been this myth on this lake of a big koi, and I've walked around it quite a few times, never seen it, and you'd think a koi would stand out, wouldn't you? And I decided to walk it at a different time of day today, and the myth is true. Look at the size of this. What a beast. It's got to be 25 pound, this fish. Easy. Just how cool is that? And it fought like an absolute demon. Absolute. Really, really tricky fish to catch as well. He was very wary. Just a little bit of bread hanging off the tree branch was its downfall in the end. Right, let's slip her back. Let's get out of there. Buzzed. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, then please make sure you hit that subscribe button like we've already gone through. It helps the channel out, helps me out, helps the videos out. And if you want me to carry on making content like this, just give it a tap. Cheers guys, thanks for watching as usual, and I'll see you in the next one.